discussion on email marketing and the law would not be complete if we didn't talk about the GDPR. Dun dun dun. It's kind of old hat now to a lot of folks because it was just about a year ago that the GDPR went into effect, but essentially it's a regulation that came out of Europe that regulated the collection and handling and processing of data of folks that are in the European Union. So essentially it applies to platforms that are handling data of users that are in the EU. What types of data does the GDPR apply to? It applies to personal information. That can be name, email address, computer IP address, obviously banking details, things like that. The GDPR applies to certain activities, and one of those is the collection of provided data. So think about the information that a user would provide to you to get an opt-in or a freebie. And why are you offering a freebie? Well, to add them to that email list, of course. Another activity that the GDPR applies to is the processing of that data, so segmenting the email addresses in your email list. So the GDPR is a hairy beast, and this video is not going to cover everything, but here are a couple of basics on the GDPR. The GDPR requires that you have a legal basis for collecting or handling the data of an EU user. One of the common legal bases is consent. Easy. So long as you get the consent of the user to process their data, then thumbs up under GDPR standards. Now, consent isn't just clicking I agree, but allowing them to affirmatively opt in, so no more pre-checked boxes or hidden boxes. The opt-in has to be loud and proud. You have to give them enough information for them to make an actual yes or no choice. Another common basis for legal collection of data is legitimate interest, and this is the one that Pinterest uses. Basically, the GDPR allows you to collect or process data under this legal basis if there would be a limited impact on the user, and they would expect that you'd use their data in this way. And this is kind of best described in an example. So the example is, you've collected their email address in an opt-in and then put them in a funnel for something related to that opt-in. So the opt-in is an ebook, and then the funnel leads to an e-course on the same topic as that ebook. Well, you could argue that because it's the same topic, that they might have a legitimate interest in this item. Now compare that to a situation where they've opted in to receive this free ebook, and then they're put into a funnel for a completely different topic or product. Well, can you say there's a legitimate interest there? Maybe not. If there's no legitimate interest, then you might consider getting consent for that new use. So how does the GDPR apply to email marketing? First, make sure you have that legal basis for collecting or processing that data. No more pre-checked boxes, no more hidden boxes. You don't want a discrete opt-in. Someone has to know that by providing their email address, they're going to be put on a list. And don't collect more information than what's necessary to achieve what you want to achieve. If you just want to put somebody on your email list, you need, their physical address. Do you need their first and last name, or is a first name enough? Think through what is the bare minimum amount of information that I need to achieve my goal here. And of course, have something in place that allows the user to easily unsubscribe and to revoke their consent to you having their data. Again, these are just some very basics, but this should give you an idea of how the GDPR ties into email marketing. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you next time.